Hey, this is Bree with Cosmic Siren. Welcome back to another Pick a Card reading. This is a safe space for all of my quirky and curious souls who wish to connect more deeply and who believe in magic. For this Pick a Card reading, I wanted to pull general messages and guidance from Spirit, so we'll see what comes up today. I have two piles for you to choose from. We have Itachi and we have Sasuke. And if you don't know who those are, you can just pick by color, whatever stands out for you. If you just feel drawn to one pile or the other, if you're drawn to both piles, you can watch both for more messages. These were pre-shuffled and I'll reveal those later on. Take all the time that you need. I'm going to go ahead and get started with group number ones. Hey, group ones, if you chose this group, you chose Itachi. We'll put Itachi, we'll put him right here. Itachi's one of my favorite Naruto characters, by the way. Shikamaru and Itachi are my top two. All right, I'm gonna I'm gonna shuffle some other cards so we can get some general messages, guidance, and wisdom that your guides and spirit want you to know. Okay. So we got Eagle and Octopus. I'll just reveal this card. First quarter moon in Taurus, release control. And we'll pull two more oracle cards. I just got this oracle deck. I really like it. Okay. Oh. Fell on the ground. We have trust. Expand. Okay, and then I'm going to read the guidebook for this one. Let me move this back a little bit. All right, first quarter moon in Taurus. Release control. What in your life are you trying just a bit too hard to do? What are you absolutely stuck on to the point where you won't even entertain other ideas? You need to release your grip on life. Whatever you want, release it to the universe and trust that the universe will come back to you with whatever is for your highest good. If you're feeling possessive about someone or something, your challenge now is to live and let live. In a financial situation, self-worth is the key. Avoid get-rich-quick schemes. Manifesting mindset. Realize that even though you can manifest your life to a great extent, you can't control everything all the time. Karma comes into play, as do your deep down beliefs about yourself. Tune into your manifesting powers. The energies of the root chakra will help you feel safer and more grounded. All right, so let's talk about in general. I think that's a good message of it doesn't have to be in relationships. This could just be in general for anything in your life, but trying not to control the direction or how things happen in general. And, taking that leap, that faith into the unknown. I think it can be difficult, right? If we set ourselves on a certain goal, right? We have certain goals, we have certain achievements that we want to complete, and we can get very caught up in what that looks like, right? If we want to get to Z, for example, and we're at A, we might try to plan out every single step in between. We might try to plan out B, C, D, E, F, all the way to Z to be prepared, right? And in theory, you'd think like, well, yeah, that makes sense. I have each step planned out. I can do every single thing. But then what happens is when you have it planned out to the T like that, there's no room for flexibility, right? Depending on what this is talking about, there's no room for you to pivot. You're not being open to other ways that it might come. There could be more ways that other people, the universe, anything can support you with to make it more easier, right? To be more efficient to Z. But because you're so caught up on the very specific steps on how to get there next, there's this sense of, resistance, right? You may think like, why isn't this happening? Or maybe you have like, what's that phrase? Not analysis paralysis, but when you like map everything out and then it's so overwhelming and you're thinking, wow, I have to do all these things, and you don't even end up moving. Or you're just so stuck and caught in how you think it should look like and trying to control every little thing that you're not getting anywhere. You're meeting resistance. And the resistance is there because there's other ways, or another way the universe is trying to show you or trying to present options to you, and you're not looking at it. So in general, there's this energy of, trusting the universe. This says trust in the unknown, trust in your loved ones, trust in yourself. Yes. Taking that faith into the unknown, feeling supported by, those around you and the universe in general. The universe is always working with us. We are co-creating with the universe, and we are meant to achieve our desires. We are meant to have the life that we want for ourselves. And there is this sense of trust that needs to happen. Like, yes, I know this life is meant for me. I know that this is going to happen because I deserve abundance. I deserve to be loved. I deserve the life that I want for myself. So I trust it will happen. I let go of control. I just embody, I just play, I'm just creative, and I be, right? There's a difference between controlling every little thing and then just trusting your intuition and nudges and doing that next, right? It should be more fluid, right? Trusting your intuition and pivoting in that direction, but being open to keep pivoting, right? As long as you're pivoting toward your yes, right? As long as you're trusting your intuition and it feels good, it feels like aligned with where you want to go, that's important. But not controlling exactly how it happens, because sometimes we don't know. Expand. It's time to take up space and be your fullest, most layered and expansive self. And this connects back to not controlling everything. Let me get to here because it kind of connects to the eagle and octopus. So with the eagle, right? I feel like immediately I was thinking like this eye, the eye like staring, eagle eye. But wait, isn't that a movie? Shia LaBeouf, whatever. But so eagles, right? I just picture like an eagle soaring high above in the sky and looking down at everything, right? It's like a big bird's eye view, a big picture of everything. And for you, you're on the ground, right? You can only see so much, which is why maybe you're trying to control things, right? You only see certain paths because you're on the ground. You only have a certain perspective. But an eagle can fly really high up. An eagle can see everything. I'm thinking more like higher self then. Like, think of this like this. Your higher self is an eagle. It can see so high. It can see like past what you can. It can see all these options, all these ways, all these energies that you can't. And your intuition, those messages, those nudges are coming from your higher self, are coming from the eagle. And it can only translate it through you, through signs and synchronicities and intuition, right? So it's like release control of how it's going to happen because the eagle can see more than you can. You just need to trust in the intuitive nudges and pivot a little bit, right? That's also another message of connecting with your higher self, connecting with yourself, connecting with your guides, for input. If you find yourself in a situation, whatever the situation may be, and you're wondering like, why isn't this getting anywhere? I'm feeling so constricted, or, I'm feeling overwhelmed, or, you're so controlled to a certain thing and you're feeling a struggle because it's not happening as you want. I think that's an important message to ask the universe for help, ask for your guides for help, ask your intuition and say like, what is it that I need to know right now? What is it that I'm not seeing, right? And just trust that you will get to where you need to go because it is meant for you, right? The octopus, and I think, well, let's go back to here. And for expand, it connects with that, right? Like, you are not your body, you are not your thoughts, right? You are not your emotions, you are energy, right? You're bigger than that. Your aura goes out of your body, right? Your soul, your energy. And it's this idea of expanding, right? Like, your higher self is an eagle. Well, it doesn't have to be, but what I mean is your higher self expands, it connects, it sees more than you can, right? Like, it's connected more. Like, you see with your eyes, right? And then we sense with other things. But your higher self is more connected than that, right? It's more expanded. And so think of yourself more as an expansion of energy. If you trust that your energy expands outward greater than yourself into the world, and that you trust that your energy is connecting with the universe and connecting with everything around it to support you and living the life that's going to make you like the happiest, that's going to support you toward your highest timeline, that's going to support you in achieving all your dreams and your goals. If you see yourself as this expansive energy, it'll help you let go and release control, because you know and trust that it'll work out, because the universe is working with you, right? With octopus, there's two things coming through. Like, the octopus has a lot of arms, right? So in theory, it could like juggle multiple tasks. It can do things simultaneously. I feel like it's just another message of there are things happening that you may or may not be aware of, right? But that are in your best interest, right? Like, you might take this path and it's supposed to connect you with this person, and then this is supposed to connect you with this. You didn't get this job because actually this one's over here. Like, there's all these things happening that you may not see, but you're expansive, right? Your energy. So it is like you have multiple arms, but it is working out in your favor. Your guides, your energy, the universe, like, there's all these things connected to you. Like, think about like maybe energy cords. There's all these things and people connected to you working out in your favor. You just might not see it. And the octopus is really good about blending in, right? Like camouflage, and not to like hide yourself, but to kind of connect more with your environment and your surroundings and the energies around you, like being more fluid with how things go, right? Don't be so in control of how something should look exactly. Like, just pivot and go with the flow. Like, maybe you thought, like, for example, if you're like starting a business, I don't know, and you thought that it was going to look like this. You thought you would be doing these services, you would be offering it to this people, and you thought it was going to be like this. Once you start your business, once you're actually doing something, once you're actually like putting your energy and time, you're like, wait, I don't like this. This doesn't make me feel good. I don't like doing this hours in a day. I actually like doing this. I'm doing this now because it feels good. It's more fun. It's still in my business. It's just maybe that's not exactly what you thought was going to happen. You thought you were going to do this, but you're actually having more fun do this, but it's still within your business. Instead of saying like, no, I have to do this because I decided, because I invested time and energy and research, I have to do this. No, instead of saying that, say, you know what? I realized with trial and error that I actually love this, and I have to follow the path of love. I have to follow the path of creativity. I have to follow my intuition. And I trust that this is the path for me, right? Don't be so stuck that it doesn't look like this. There's more happening that you don't know, right? All right, those are the general messages. Let's get more into this. I wanted to pull, okay, I was gonna do a circle, but the space is too small, so we're just gonna go on top. Let's pull some tarot cards so we just can get a clearer picture of this situation, what's happening, what you need to release control on and trust. What is it? One, need to let control of and trust. This. Okay. I don't know how all of these cards are, so we're just gonna do it in the upright. Six of Cups, Two of Cups, Two of Wands, and the Magician. Okay. So it is, a lot of you, it is going to be relationship based. It doesn't have to be, but it's definitely coming out as that. All right. I'm just putting these up here because I don't know how the cards were. Oh, Three of Wands. Okay. Two of Cups. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, so these two together, definitely like soulmate connection vibes. Okay. Okay, so let's start. We're going to start here. I was going to start here, but I can't ignore this. So, Two of Cups and Six of Cups. This is definitely giving like high level, like soulmate vibe, soul connection, soul family. Now, this is any dynamic, right? This could be platonic, romantic, otherwise. This is a strong soul connection. So, take what resonates, right? Leave what doesn't. This is a collective reading. But for a lot of you, this is going to be talking about a very specific dynamic or person or situation. It could be multiple. But in the Two of Cups, we have these very different looking people, right? They all have different cups. They all have their different love languages. They like to be loved in a different way. They express themselves in a different way, but they connect, right? They share like similar values. They share similar perspectives on life, even though they look different. This is a soul connection, right? This is the type of connection that you want long term with someone, right? This can be any connections in your life. It can also be family if you want. It's just you and another person, right? And because you feel so deeply, the connection, I mean, it's a soul connection, right? You feel very familiar with each other, especially with the Six of Cups. This is a very familiar connection. You feel very familiar, feel very right at home. Some of you have known this person like for a long time, so it does feel familiar, but some of you, it just feels this way because it's a soul connection. And we have like a raven here, crow. Is it a raven or crow? But definitely gives me, it doesn't have to be a twin flame, but this could be a twin flame situation. But it's a soul connection, and this can look like anything, especially with these two together. And so I am getting that with the sense of the releasing control. It's when you have this type of connection, the bond and the pull is just so strong, right? You feel so overwhelmed by this connection. You feel their energy all the time. You feel like this slow burn in your chest. It's like very warm, and you're just drawn to them, right? You want to spend time with them. You want to like for a lot of you, it's like when you're together, you can't keep your hands off each other. And that doesn't even have to mean anything, right? This doesn't have to be romantic necessarily. It's just you want to be around their energy. It feels really good when you touch. And that could be any type of touch. But for some of you, it is like when you hold hands, it just feels very special, right? And it feels very familiar. Like it's, even if you had just met this person, it feels like you've known each other for a very long time. It's like a nostalgic sense. It's like, I'm remembering who this person is. I'm returning home, right? And some of you already know this person for a while, but it's just that type of connection, that bond. And so with the release control, it's when you feel this type of connection with someone, you can't help but want it to go somewhere, right? You're hopeful. You're like, wow, this is a great connection. You know that it's special, it's different, right? Like you can connect with people, but this type of connection, it's very different than a lot of other connections. And so you want to spend time with them. You want to get to know them. You want to build something with them, right? That's what the feelings, that's what they support. And with this release control, it's don't try to drive the direction of the connection, right? I've mentioned this before. I'll link, I have a podcast about soul connections. I'm going to link it down below, but it does talk about this. Might help you a little bit more, but it's this, when you meet someone and you feel this way, deeply connected, you can sometimes want to label it, right? You'll want to be, sometimes some of you will be like, oh, this is romantic, I want to date them, right? Or, oh, I want this friend, I want to be soul family, I want to be best friends, or whatever. You try to label and you say, I want this. And that's fine to know what you want, right? It's fine to connect with your feelings and your thoughts and know where you are. However, it's important because of the connection, because you're more expansive than that, because you don't see everything that's going on. You don't know, well, you might intuitively know, but you don't know exactly how the relationship will pan out. some of these connections, right, they're meant to be with us for short term. They're supposed to ignite something in some of us. They're supposed to awaken us, maybe like remember something about us, maybe love ourselves more, right? And oh, there's a siren. Okay, as I was saying, there's things happening that we don't know, right? Like I said, sometimes they're meant to be with us temporarily. They're supposed to awaken something within us, have us love ourselves more. Sometimes they're going to be there long term. And we don't know exactly how that's going to look like, right? It could be chosen family, friend, lover, whatever dynamic or label. But there's this idea of letting go of how the connection plays out, letting go of control of what it means. Because we can't control the other person, right? We can only control ourselves, right? We can feel through our feelings, acknowledge them, and be clear that, we're a fuck yes, right? Like be clear on our energy, like, yes, I want to hang out with them. I want to spend time with them, and be clear on that. Not overbearing, but clear, right? Like being intentional with our time, reaching out to talk, to show, interest, reaching out to hang out and spend time, to show like consistency, like that makes sense. What it's saying is don't control though if you're not getting the same consistent energy back. And oh, I have another podcast on this. Yeah, I'll link both of them. It's inconsistent energy. It's this idea of if this other person has inconsistent energy, like hot, cold, like you're confused because the connection is so strong. And maybe at the beginning or, what have you, it seemed like they felt the same way, right? They were very interested, whatever the relationship is. And then maybe at some point it got very cold. Like you could feel them drawing back, like putting you at a distance and creating space. And it can be confusing, right? And maybe they go back and forth. And that's confusing. And you're like, what is this? Like, why is this happening? I thought we were both on the same page. Like, what's going on? I want to control it, right? I want to figure out what's going on. I want it to go this way. And that's why there's a struggle, right? Because you're attached to a specific outcome, and there can be struggle with that. And it's like there are other connections, right? Like if this is only like one relationship for you, like just know there are other connections like this that you are meant to find and connect with. There are so many other people that are part of your group, your soul frequency, your soul family, people that relate to you, share this same perspectives on you in life, like you share like similar hearts. There are people like that, your group. And it's important that you're open to that idea. That's what I'm getting. That's the message I'm getting. Because, like I said, we can't control the other person is. Even if they are part of your group, even if, you are meant to connect in this life and meet, they still have to choose whether they want to expand, right? You are a person on the path of growth and expansion. You are continuously working on yourself to love yourself more, show up for yourself better, shine brighter, and just be like at a higher vibration in general, right? This person, though, they have their own choice. Not everyone wants to look at themselves clearly. Not everyone wants to dive deep into their thoughts and feelings. Not everyone wants to expand and grow, right? And if that's the case, if they're afraid of the connection, if they're overwhelmed by the connection, right? If they're like, this is too much, I don't know if I can handle this. If they're like confused at all, right? Because this is a soul connection, right? If they're not ready to accept their triggers, look at themselves so that they can show it better for you. They might need space, right? They might push you away so they can figure out their feelings, figure out themselves, figure out their life so that they can be better, right? In the connection. And if they choose to, that's great. And they will come back. But if they don't, if they stay stuck, if they don't want to, if they want to go back to their life before meeting you, if they, choose to repeat the same patterns and stay on that path, then that means then they can't come along with you, right? Because that's not what you're connecting with. That's not what you're looking for. And that's why there's a struggle. And so there's this message of just give them space. It's okay. Just let them be. They need to figure themselves out, right? This could be you too. I was reading it the other way, like maybe it switched and you are the one. You are the one putting space on the other person. You are the one that's like, what's going on? This connection's overwhelming. Either way, whatever one you resonate with, either way, the space is important. It's supposed to help whichever of you, connect with themselves, figure themselves out, and be clear on what they want, right? Because Like I said, if it's not a fuck yes, it's a no. You want both people to be a yes, right? Because anything other than that, it doesn't feel good. And with the Three of Wands, the Three of Wands is about movement, going somewhere, exploration, and yes, there can be this idea of space. Like, yes, maybe for some of you, maybe there will be more space. Maybe one of you will be going somewhere on a vacation, going somewhere, and you guys can take a break, have some space, figure it out. But it's also this idea of, like I was saying, is, you're climbing the ladder, you're moving up, right? You have a dream, you have a goal, you have a vision for the world and life that you want to live in. And it's showcased by you constantly like moving and growing and changing, like expanding, like you're on an expansion path. And that's why I said, if this person's not ready, you can't force them to climb the ladder with you, right? You might have to leave them behind, and that's okay. You can't be attached to the outcome. You have to release control, because wherever you're going, there are more people that are ready, that are where you're at, right? And Magician, it just goes back to what I was saying, is co-creating with the universe. Cinderella in this card. Like, yes, the fairy godmother helped her, right? I like that they put Cinderella as the magician in this card because, Cinderella did make it happen, right? It was her act of kindness. It was her openness to connect with the fairy godmother and her mice friends, and to not give up, and to be herself, express herself as she is. I really like I like all the Cinderellas. Brandy Cinderella. I like the new Disney Cinderella, the live action. I just like they all were very kind, were never not themselves, didn't fade away from that, and it was their kindness that was their strength, right? But it's this idea of you co-create with the universe. You are, empower yourself to believe you are the creator of your life, and you are choosing to go this path. So don't go down and wait for somebody else, right? Don't try to control the relationships, the connections that you're in. Don't try to control that. Just keep following that nudge. Like I said, following your yes, following the path. It will lead you to a great place. You have to just trust in the unknown. Yeah, you can't see what's up there, but that's the path to go. This is meant for you. You just have to trust. Trust what you can't see, because you're expansive, right? Your guides, your higher self, they can see more, and that's what you're being led by. So just trust in that. And trust that it'll all work out, right? Even though Cinderella knew she only had till midnight, that the magic would wear off, that she might not even meet the prince, that she might be recognized by her fairy god or her stepmother and sibling. She trusted, right? She trusted it would just all work out, and it did. It ended up not being what she thought, right? Like, yeah, she got to go to the ball or whatever, and she connected, right? She didn't know she was going to connect, but she connected with this person. And at midnight, it struck, and she lost her clothes, lost one of her shoes. She doesn't know what's going to happen. She didn't think she was going to see this person ever again, and what have you, depending on which story, which adaptation you watch. But in the end, she was hidden, closed up behind doors, thought maybe, who knows what's going to happen. But it all worked out in the end, right? She stayed true to herself. She trusted in her friends. She trusted in the universe. She trusted in her guides, and it worked out. And that's what's going to happen for you, as long as you keep following your intuition and your yes. All right, let's get just a few more messages for you to help you integrate, move this energy around. Okay. Oh, all right. Oops. Okay, let's see what we got. Oh, we got a lot. Dang it. All right, well, that's okay. So we have attract, to welcome and become available, to be ready, to hold and broadcast an intention. Persona. How you choose to present yourself in different scenarios, personality traits that you project or emphasize, the roles you adapt. Let's talk about these two first. I have these over here, but we'll just put that there for a second. And I'm going to let that siren go by. For attract, it's also this message of being clear on what you want in your connections, in your relationships, in your life, just the energy in general. So in your relationships in general, being very clear on the type of energies that you will allow. I allow consistency in my connections. I allow open honesty. I allow love and support. Whatever the energies that you want, like, I encourage you to go ahead and write that down, right? Or just be clear with yourself and don't do the negative, like, I don't want this. No, do the I want, right? It's the energy thing, I want. And be clear on that, right? And then only be available to welcome in that energy, right? And then it will be a less of a struggle. If when you keep meeting people and connections and making these connections, because you will, because you're a loving, open person and your energy, like, it just does that for people. When you experience a connection and they are anything but what you've clearly defined for yourself that you want, the energies, it'll be easier to let go. Like, oh, great, we connect. However, I don't feel this, and this is important to me in my connection, so I let this go, right? What do you want to attract? What are you open and ready for? Are you available for inconsistent energy? Are you available for someone that doesn't create space for you? And it's not even being upset, disliking, hating, or negative toward them, right? It's just, hey, I accept you where you are. The energy of the current situation doesn't support me, so I lovingly let it go. I'm not attached to the outcome, right? This is not you pushing them away. You're just not trying to control the situation. You're not overexerting yourself, right? You're just letting them be. You were already clear with yourself and you're living your life and you're open to connecting or investing your time in other connections that give you that energy, right? And persona, just another message of stepping into who you are, not hiding yourself, shining, right? If you're having trouble or difficulties attracting the type of connections that you want, if you're realizing like, oh, I don't connect with these people, we don't share the same values, or oh, they don't appreciate me, what are you reflecting? Like, outwardly, and like your personality and the way you communicate. Are you hiding parts of yourself? Is it taking people a long time to get to know you, right? And this is not you sharing your whole world, but it's more of like, is it clear the type of person you are, your perspectives on life, your energy? Like, I like to say, because colors make more sense to me, but it's like, are you expressing your color? Are you painting the world like your signature color? It could be a combination of colors, whatever the color is. But like I say, like, don't try to be a red if you're a blue, right? Like, you can embody red energy if you need to for the day, but it's just like, if you're hiding yourself and people aren't sure like what you are, and then they get to know you, and then it's, for whatever reason, they leave your life. It's, if you had embodied yourself from the beginning, you wouldn't have ever connected with those people because they wouldn't have wanted to, right? You want to shine as bright as possible, be your color, be who you are, so that the people that connect with that find you, right? They see your energy, they're like, oh, I'm really curious about that person, I really like that energy, I want to connect with them. And for the other people, they're like, I don't really like that energy, I don't connect with it, and then they go away. But that's okay, right? You just have to get into your head that not everyone's going to like us, right? It's hard to think about, but if not everyone's going to like us, if you just think of that as a fact, if not everyone will love us, I might as well be myself so that the right people can find me, right? It'll be better for you, or it'll be easier for you to sift through. The more you are yourself so much, it'll like instantly just polarize people that don't appreciate your energy, and it'll be way easier for those people to find you, right? And those are the people you want to invest your time in. All right, let's see what these other ones were. And this was an expansion card, so it goes with this. Seeker. Okay, this is success. Navigate. To figure a way through, to plan or direct the course of something, to journey carefully and with intention. Practice. To put into action, to apply a concept in a practical way, to hone a skill, to develop a habit, to exercise. So navigate, this just goes back to what I was saying about using your intuition, that yes energy, to navigate your situations, right? To push you on the path that you want to go, right? Being open to how things play out, but just following just that feeling of yes, right? It doesn't matter what it looks like. It doesn't matter if it's different than how you imagine, as long as it feels like a yes, right? As long as you're trusting your intuition, as long as it feels good and you connect with that, right? Practice putting into action and practice what you preach, right? Being in integrity. Make sure your actions match your words and your energy. If you're not allowing inconsistent energy in your life, if you don't want that, then don't allow it. Don't do it. Let go. Show the universe, like, hey, I don't appreciate this type of relationship, so I'm not going to invest my time in it. And then show the universe who you want to invest your time in so that you can connect with more of those people, right? It's like show yourself. If you constantly give your time and energy to people, situations, whatever, that drain yourself, that don't appreciate you, that make you question yourself, that cause you anxiety, what is that showing yourself in the world? That you're okay with that. If you're not okay with that, let it go, right? And we talked about that already. All right. Light work, compassion. How can you show empathy, sensitivity, charity, and understanding to yourself and to others? How can you help alleviate suffering? This just goes back to, like, yes, showing compassion for the other person. Like I said, it's not about negativity. It's about, hey, I accept this person or these people where they are. This is not the type of energy that I want, and that's okay. I don't have to light myself on fire to keep them warm, right? I don't have to struggle and be anxious in the dynamic just because I'm afraid of hurting their feelings or I'm afraid that they're going to leave me, right? Show yourself some compassion, like show yourself empathy, like connect with your feelings and say, hey, I believe you. I hear and feel that you don't feel good in this relationship, and I trust that. I'm going to pivot and do something else so that I feel good, right? It's just about you feeling good because this is your life, right? You don't have to question yourself like, why isn't this working? Why doesn't this work? Why isn't it going? It's just, hey, I don't feel good. So what am I going to do about it, right? I don't feel good. So let me try something else, right? Let me just pivot. You've already been trying and pouring yourself into this person, connection, or, whatever situation, and it hasn't been working out as you like, right? It doesn't feel good. So do something else. Yeah. Love yourself, right? Fill your cup first. They can have all the leftovers, right? Fill your cup all the way, pour it, and that's what you give to others. All right, let's just do like a closing message from your higher self. Close out the reading. We have Between Dreams, Mugwort, page 80. I'm going to read from this, of course. It looks like a dream catcher. It has some feathers and it has a crystal. And where's my, oh shoot, where's my guidebook? All right, let me find my guidebook. Oh, here it is. Okay. All right, Between Dreams, Mugwort. Mugwort lives in the space between deep rest and waking. She's the daughter of moonlight and protector of those who travel the dream time. Mugwort curls around your mind, whispering your dreams into words and images that you can clutch as you climb levels of consciousness and return to your waking self. While Mugwort's constant vigil makes her a bit waspish and bitter, she knows the many layered worlds and can guide you through the serpentine paths of the collective unconscious. Call on her to guide you through dreams or journey work. If Mugwort appears to you, she's calling you to dip into these subtler realms. Ritual, remembering dreams. Before sleep, sit on the edge of your bed, plant your feet on the ground, anchoring into the earth. Stretch tall and imagine starlight reaching for your crown. Set the intention to remember your dreams and call on Mugwort to assist you. If you're able, slip a fresh sprig or some dried mugwort in a pouch or wrapped in a cloth or a tissue into your pillowcase. Put a journal by your bed, open to a fresh page. If you wake up in the night, jot anything down. In the morning, before you're fully awake, lie in bed with your eyes closed and pull your dreams into your conscious mind. Reach for your journal and write them down into the present tense. Reflection, differentiating dreamscapes. Dreams have different textures, which indicate to the initiated whether a dream is a simple emptying of the conscious mind or a passage into a different state of consciousness. Think back on your dreaming life. Can you remember dreams that felt different from your usual dreams? Perhaps the color was brighter or the sequences more realistic. Maybe you heard voices clearly or felt like you received a message. Maybe you inhabited a body not your own so fully that you could feel the texture of fabric against your skin. Know that there are different spaces within which you dream. Track their contours and particularities. As you begin to differentiate dream states, you're creating a map of your nighttime journeys that will assist you as you further explore Mugwort's mysteries. That's great. I guess this is like, it's kind of like I was saying, like, call upon the universe or your guides for assistance and support in your higher self. And for some of you, you have very, very vivid dreams and you might just think that's normal, but it's actually not. I didn't realize that kind of till recently, but I always dream as if it's real. Like, I honestly don't know. Like, I always wake up, I'm like, oh, but it's so vivid to me. Like, it's as if real, right? I think about Inception. Like, I wake up in my dreams a lot, because I think it's real. That's how vivid they are. And for a lot of you, that's how it is. And there are messages, right? There are messages in your dreams. And if you haven't tried, the more you practice, you'll start remembering. If you just, whether it's your phone or a journal, but if you just wake up and immediately just write down your dream, the more you do it, the easier it will be to remember. At first, it'll take you a little bit, right? But like it said, there's like subtle energies and messages in dreams. And just to pay attention, that can help you. If some of you have been wanting to do dream work, this is like another confirmation. And for those of you that haven't been remembering your dreams, or maybe you don't connect with your dreams a lot, this is just another reminder, another tool or practice, another way to listen to your intuition, right? Your intuition comes in all different forms, and dreams is one of them. Well, that is all the messages that I have for you. Thank you so much for connecting with me. I'd love to continue connecting with your energy to read as part of the collective. So please subscribe, hit the bell notification so you know when I have more videos. Please like or comment below what resonated for you so I know how it fit into your life. And again, I'll put those podcast episodes in the description box below. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and as always, sending you warm wishes and soothing hums. Bye-bye. Hi, Group 2. If you chose Sasuke, this is your reading. We'll be looking at general messages and guidance from Spirit, your spirit guides, the universe, just any messages meant to find you right now. And I'll put Sasuke over here. And you got 2 cards. We got first quarter moon in Aries, step into your power. Full moon in Sagittarius, see the bigger picture. And then I'm going to pull the rest of the cards. All right. Messages, guidance, meant to find group 2. Oops. Fell on the ground. Okay. Elephant. Oh. This is a new Oracle deck I got. I like these. Okay. Recognize and be still. And I'm going to read the guidebook for the full moon in Sagittarius. See the bigger picture. At this point, your best bet is to be the bigger person in whatever situation is on your mind. If harsh words have been exchanged, this card comes with a gentle suggestion to diffuse the upset with some humor. The world is your oyster when you draw this card. but you need to find a balance between where you are and where you want to be. It may be that you need to do some more research before you move closer towards what it is you want. When you're manifesting, the journey of discovery can be as empowering as dreaming the big dream. One thing for sure, having an open mind will serve you well now. Talk to people about your issues and get a view of the bigger picture. Your manifesting affirmation is, I know that I am blessed and I love my life within that knowing. Let's start up here. Let me show you. So recognize, let's take a look at a big scary feeling. Let's give it a name. Maybe we could even befriend it. And be still. Stillness can be both clarifying and energizing. Let all the pieces settle around you. Oops, sorry, Sasuke. It kind of gives similar, it is a collective reading, but it's similar energy to group one. So if you were drawn to group one, you can watch that. But there's more happening, right? I gave this to group one. There's more happening, bigger picture outside than you're aware of, right? Or what you're looking at. It's like in group one, they were trying to control situations, right? They had a certain outcome in mind. And so that's why there was a struggle, right? They were trying to control the situation. And for this, it's this idea of, there is a situation in your life, whatever the situation is, it could be through anything, but to understand and see that it's not a personal attack, right? It's just the energies aren't aligned, right? We can take things, so, understandably, like we can take things very personal, right? It doesn't matter if it's an argument with someone, a fight, maybe someone said something, maybe it's a situation at work, anything really. But if something doesn't go our way, if something hurts our feelings, obviously our feelings are valid. To also understand that, what am I supposed to learn here? Like, what is this situation teaching me? And it's like, I'm not saying like everything happens for a reason. Well, believe what you want to believe, right? I believe that we can learn from everything, right, in our life. And it's just that idea of there's just a way to shift your mindset, shift your perspective, so that it's not causing you a lot of anxiety and pain and hurt. Whatever the situation is, in the guidebook, it was saying with someone, and it could be, right? Even if it's an internal conflict with ourselves, but a lot of times it does involve another person, right? Because that's when we get triggered, right? We interact with someone's energy, something is triggered within us, and that's a message for us to look within ourselves and say, like, hey, what am I still hurting from? What can I heal from? How can I expand, right? And there's a bigger picture to everything. And this goes along with the recognize, right? Like taking a look at this feeling and giving it a name. Whatever the situation is, this is just a general energy. We'll get more details when I pull the tarot cards, but it is this message of, don't dismiss your feelings. If something's happening, if something's causing you strife and conflict, a struggle, connect with that part of yourself, connect with your body, label the emotions, say, hey, I don't feel good. This feels very tight in my chest. And just acknowledge it. Say like, hey, body, like I understand that you're showing me something, like I feel really tight in my chest, and just feel it through, right? It just takes a few minutes, honestly. Feel it through your chest, acknowledge it and say, I know that this is showing me something about myself. This is to help me understand myself better. And lovingly disperse the energy, however that means for you. You can just like watch it in your mind, whatever sense you connect with. It can be seeing, hearing, feeling, just like watching the energy dissipate, like and you can say it out loud, right? Like I feel it through my chest and now it's going down to my stomach, it's dissipating out. You can just work with it like that. Just giving yourself the attention to yourself and through your feelings will help you feel through it. And it only takes a few minutes, right? And feelings, like it says in here, is feelings are our friends, right? Depending on where you're at in life, sometimes it can be hard to weather emotions by yourself, right? Alone. It can be scary, but these are your feelings, right? This is a part of you. You don't have to dismiss it. You don't have to hide it. You don't have to destroy it. You don't have to kill it, right? You can lovingly hold space for it because it's just talking to you, right? It's just a way that your body's communicating with yourself. It's showing you like, hey, something's happening here. Maybe a boundary was crossed. I don't feel respected. I want to feel more loved. I'm hurting because of this reason. And it's just a way to communicate with ourselves, right? It's supposed to be like a collaborative effort. Like, hey, thank you body, thank you self for telling me that I feel this way, for telling me something's wrong, so that I can do something about it, right? So I can connect myself more, so I can understand myself more. And that's what it's about. All right, there's a siren. Let me just wait for that. And first quarter moon, Aries, step into your power. This is solar plexus energy right here. And so this situation, whatever's happening, this energy, maybe you've just been in this energy, but it's this idea of, feeling worthy, feeling like you're enough. Solar plexus, it's your sense of worth. Whatever the situation is, you may be questioning yourself, questioning your value or what you have to offer. And it's the message of step into your power. Be yourself. You are this, great, loving being, and you are respected and you are seen as a leader, right? We have the elephant here, right? The elephant is this majestic, grand creature. Like, you can't not see an elephant. And, elephants, even though they're so grand and big, large, you're not afraid of them, right? Like, they're very gentle creatures. You connect with them. There's this sense of like inner knowing, like they're all old souls, right? And they always say that, elephant never forgets, but it's like there's something very like wise and nurturing and loving about this animal, even though it's so large and big. And for you, like, step into your power, it's like recognizing that this is what you are. You are this amazing, magnificent being, right? Your soul, yourself. And you offer that type of presence to people, right? Like, step into your leadership role, step into this guide of who you are. Like, I know this said in the guidebook, like, be the bigger person. I for some reason I don't really like that phrase. I see it more as like you're in a different space, right? You are connected with yourself more, but you give yourself more credit, right? I feel like you are in a little bit of a different space than a lot of other people, right? You connect more with your feelings, your body, yourself. You you are more open, right? You see the world a little bit differently, right? You're open to connecting. You're open to, finding out the truth about the world, yourself, and others. It's not like you're trying to divide people. It's not these lower vibrations of anger all the time and, hate, right? You are this loving, gentle giant, right? And step into your power and feel worthy for that, right? It's your energy and your time is super valuable, like who you are. So I hope you recognize that, like, you are valuable just existing and being yourself. That's how valuable your energy is, because your energy is very supportive and loving and nurturing and healing for others, just you being you. So step into that Aries power, right? Being yourself and being honest with yourself and clear when something doesn't feel good, right? Recognizing that, because that is a moment for you to realize, like, hey, this doesn't feel good. How long has it not made me feel good? Is this something I can let go of, the situation, whatever the situation is? Like, do I need to keep living in this situation, whatever it may be? And be still. Stillness can be both clarifying energy and let all the pieces settle around you. Just another reminder of, connecting with more around you when you're still, when you create space, when you create silence, in your environment. You can connect with your body to connect with your feelings, yes. You can also connect with your intuition. Your intuition can give you signs, messages for how to handle the situation, right? For how you feel, right? And you can trust your intuition. It's hard, right? A lot of people, they are lost in their thoughts a lot. They can be lost in a lot of work. They try to busy themselves so that they don't think, but you want to be still, right? Don't be afraid of letting your thoughts go, right? Like, we're not our thoughts, right? There's a difference between thoughts and thinking. Thoughts just happen. Thoughts come, right? There are many thoughts, right? We're not thinking them. They're just thoughts. You can let them go like little bubbles or clouds. The thoughts come in, you let them go. When you start actively thinking on it, like you have a thought and then you're like, oh, what do I think about that? Now you're thinking. When you're practice, meditation, mindfulness, stillness, but being still and just kind of watching your thoughts go by, like noticing that you're not attached to them, right? And practice that, right? You have to get into the practice of sitting, letting thoughts go by and watching them wave through and see which ones stick. And maybe there's some work to be done. Maybe there's some energy to shift through with that. Let's look into the situation. Let's look into specifically group 2, what the situation is, to see the bigger picture, what's causing them emotional strife. Any messages for group 2? Oh, okay. These cards are so thin. Hold on. Okay. Group 2. Okay. Let's see. One card fell on the ground. Okay. We got Page of Cups. Hierophant. Oops. Oh my God. The Empress. Oh my God. And the King of Cups. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So we got two major arcana, right? Got 5 and 3. And then we have Page of Cups and King of Cups. I'm going to start with the Page of Cups and King of Cups. It's interesting that, well, the way I put it around, I don't remember what order they were in, but the way I set it out on the table, which is not a coincidence, right? It happened for a reason. It's interesting that the Page of Cups and the King of Cups are separated here, right? If we think about stages in life, right? Page of Cups is a more youthful energy than a King of Cups. It's this, they're new, they're open, they're creative. Usually they're like younger. They're feeling very inspired, explorative. They're still figuring things out, right? It's a very creative, youthful energy. And the King of Cups is in a different stage, right? They have mastered their emotions. They trust their self, right? They are not necessarily persuaded by what other people are saying around them, right? And this situation, for some of you, so 2 messages. For some of you, there is a situation with a Page of Cups energy. I feel like you are embodying this King of Cups energy. You're in a different place, like maturity wise, right? Very emotionally mature, connecting with yourself and your body. You're able to communicate openly. And when it said be the bigger person, it's like you're on a different path. You have a different experience than this person, right? They don't have to be young necessarily. Like, there doesn't have to be an age gap specifically. It can. Like, this can definitely be an age gap. So whatever the situation is, there could be an age gap between you. And that's why message of be the bigger person, it's just you're in a different place, you're in a different space. You can hold space for them because you understand that, not that they should be treating you disrespectfully, not that they should, not that you should get away with things, but you just understand more so that you can hold that space for them and yourself and just say, hey, I don't take this personally. This is just where they are in their journey, and I accept that. And, I let that go with love, right? Depending on the situation. Maybe this is a family dynamic. So this could be a family situation where you have to interact with them. But it's just this idea of you are in a different space. You know more, you understand more, you've experienced more. And so you're able to embody this elephant energy, right? This wise old soul. It doesn't matter what your age is. But just like, you're more patient, right? And that's what it is. It's you have this level of patience. And this person that has this Page of Cups, they can be the same age, right? It's just they're on a different journey, right? This Page of Cups energy, they're new, they're learning, right? They're open to learning, right? But they're going to make mistakes, right? They need guidance, right? And you can be that guidance if you want. I don't know what the situation is specifically, but you can be that guidance for them if you so choose. You can be a role model or an example for them so that they can go along this path to the King of Cups and also embody this elephant energy, right? The Hierophant and the Empress, this is very interesting. I I'm wondering, so you'll have to let me know in the comments because I'm getting a couple things here. So for some of you, this is like a long-term situation, like the Hierophant traditional marriage. Um, it's a very like traditional norm structure. So when I saw the Hierophant, I immediately thought like marriage. You don't have to be, but it could be like a long-term commitment. But that might be why this is a difficult energy, because if you are in a marriage, if if the marriage is specific to your partner, like because you're married to this person, or it's because you have children, possibly, or dependents, whoever. And so it's a little complicated on you letting go, right? Because you're in a binding kind of, not binding contract because you could let go, but it's just this idea of there's something traditional and long term here. And so you are kind of, I guess, forced, I guess, to be in this situation, if that makes sense for some of you, right? And the reason why I say kids is because the Empress is the quote unquote mother, right, of the tarot deck. Like this person, it doesn't matter your gender. The Empress, this person embodies, this divine feminine energy of supporting, loving, caring for other people, right? Nurturing, growing other people, like who they are, who they step into themselves, their energy. It nurtures and blooms those around them, right? But also because they're caretakers, right? They support others. It's just a natural intrinsic part of them. So that's why I was also getting children. Page of Cups and Empress. So this situation could be with a child as well. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. It's a collective reading. So whichever one connects or hits with you. And this person, whoever this situation is with, or multiple people, I want you to, like I said, it's just a shift in how you think of things. Like something's happening, right? Something's happening where you're feeling hurt, right? You're feeling some feeling, some type of way. Someone did something, said something, and because you're in this space, it's like they rely on you to be the bigger person, quote unquote. Now, if this is a dependent, if this is a child, this would make, then it would be more healthy, I suppose. I'll say that. I'll get back to this other thing. If this is a child, right? Because, children could possibly say things, do things that hurt you. And as I said, you can be a role model for them, right? Like connect with them, talk with their feelings. Like, hey, that hurt my feelings. Let's talk about this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard, right? Depending on who you are. Maybe your parents weren't able to give you that space, right? A lot of times as children, our parents, because it was a different generation, different time, they weren't able to hold that space for us. They weren't able to emotionally connect with us. They were doing their best, right? They were able to work, put a roof over our heads, depending on your situation. But that emotional connection, that, teaching about feelings and thoughts and how to move through that, that wasn't there, right? For a lot of you. But you, because you've done this healing journey, because you have stepped into who you are now, you have done that work and you can show them how to do that, right? This child, this person is going to succeed in life and be able to follow your footsteps and do it much quicker, right? I mean, we're all in our own time. I don't want to say it's not good that we're not quicker. I just mean, like, imagine a child having that type of space growing up. That's amazing, right? They'll be able to get past their triggers and traumas and fears and be able to step into the world and who they are, right? And they can do that for themselves as an adult, right? Like, you can be that person. That's amazing, right? If this hits for you. Now, when we get to a partner, if you are in a partnership and this person is supposed to be, like your equal, like they're not a dependent, right? They're your equal, and you're in a long-term commitment. I wanted to say, like, I don't want them to rely on you for being that person, right? Maybe they do rely on you to be this person, to give them slack and support them and be the loving, gentle person that you are. And you're so emotionally mature and you can give so much grace. I just wanted to make sure that it's not because your partner is the Page of Cups and you're the King of Cups. It's different with dependence. That would make more sense. But when it's a partner, that's difficult. That's hard. You have to see how you're feeling, connect with your body and your feelings about the situation. Because if this is a partner and you are in a long-term commitment, this doesn't mean that you're only feeling this now, right? You've been feeling this for a while, this struggle, this strife. And it's important that you're honest with yourself. Be still. Listen to yourself on if the connection's serving you, right? And this is for some of you. Is this person learning on their own? Are they growing on their own? Like, have you always been the King of Cups in this relationship and it's always been this unbalance of you taking care of them, being lenient, supporting them? For some of you, right? Just be honest with yourself. Is this the dynamic that you want to play out forever, right? And only you can answer that. Maybe you feel really good in this partnership, but maybe not. Only you will know, right? You have to be still. You have to connect with your feelings and recognize your feelings and not dismiss them, right? You have to accept your feelings for how they are and give them a voice and say, like, look, I don't feel good. I haven't felt good in a long time. What do I want to do about it, right? And yeah, I guess you should watch. I mean, both groups should watch each other, I suppose. It's very similar readings. Yeah. And this idea for the Hierophant, there's this message for some of you of just because it's tradition, just because it's the norm, it doesn't mean you have to do it that way, right? For some of you, it's this message of whether it's a religious thing, a religious commitment, and you're like, oh, I can't break away from this person because I said I do, right? Whatever that means, right? And you're like, I can't. I'm this person. I'm this role model. I have to be this person. I have to be this role. I have to keep it all together because I'm in this. But you can shift that. You don't have to, right? This is your life. Is this the life that you want to create for yourself? And that's only if you resonate with this, right? If this is, then it's fine, right? But for some of you, this is a very specific message of you tried your best. You're continuously growing. And the partner you're with is stuck in the Page of Cups. And they're not growing. They don't want to grow, right? Maybe they don't. They don't want to move. They don't want to grow. They don't want to change. And you can't control them to change, right? You can only control yourself. And just honest with yourself, do you want to stay in that relationship just because it's something you think you should do? There's no should, right? There's no right or wrong, right? There's just alignment. And you've learned something from this, and this doesn't make you weaker, right? This doesn't put a permanent mark on your permanent record. This is your life, right? This is a life experience. But just because you are this elephant and this empress, I don't want you to get stuck in this role of, I have to be better. I have to be the better person because that's just who I am. Who said that? Who put that role on you? Is that yourself? Was that someone else? Did they say that to you when you were younger? Like, who put that role on you? Because you don't have to be. We're all in charge of our lives, right? We all are supposed to grow and change and expand on our own and, with each other, but it's not your job to take care of someone for the rest of your life, right? Like that. Take what hits. All right. Let's look at some more guidance on how to shift this energy. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, all right, we'll take these two. Okay, so we got attract and persona. Oh, these are the same two cards that went out in group one, so definitely watch group one. Attract, persona, purge, and seeker. Okay. Well, I'll put this over here. So these two are expansion, so how to expand. Attract, to welcome and become available, to be ready to hold and broadcast an intention. Purge, to destroy, to cleanse, to renew, to eradicate, and transform. We'll get to these two in a second. But, okay, let's talk about attract and purge. It's this idea of purging energy that doesn't serve you, right? Letting go, releasing energy that doesn't serve you, right? You're cluttered, you're full of people, situations, energies, anything, right? Everything's energy, just energies that aren't serving you, right? They're causing some internal struggle. They're causing you some type of pain. And it's time to connect with, to be still, listen to your feelings, be honest with yourself, and connect with those energies of what doesn't feel aligned, right? What doesn't feel good? What doesn't feel like a yes, right? If it's not a fuck yes, it's a no. What doesn't feel good? And let go, right? Because if you're full of all these energies that aren't serving you, you can't bring in and be open and attract the energies that are more aligned, right? I told this to group one, it's like you're showing the universe what you're accepting, and depending on the situation that you're in, whatever this means for you. If you continuously allow it in your life, if you're not doing anything about it, you just continuously let it happen, you're continuously hurt by it, you're stuck in this pattern. If you're not shifting, if you're not pivoting, you're just showing the universe like you accept this. This is your life. And it's not changing, right? It's not getting better because you've accepted the situation. If you want to make a change, if you want to make a difference, if you want to step into the life that you know is meant for yourself, it's time to purge. Be honest with yourself. Connect with your feelings. And just say like, hey, this doesn't feel good. The situation doesn't feel good. And that's enough for me, right? I don't have to bend over backward. I don't have to keep hurting myself, changing myself, sacrificing myself to help other people, right? I can let go, whatever that means, whatever makes sense for you. Thoughts, feelings, people, situations, whatever makes sense, because you know what you deserve, right? If you, in the mornings or at night, I guess, but when you're thinking about the life you envision for yourself, when you're like picture it in your head or how you feel, and you're picturing the relationships, how they make you feel, you're picturing what you would hope and like to be different, like pay attention to how you feel and what that means for you. And you deserve to feel that way in your life in general and in your relationships and your connections. Whatever you are imagining in your mind, whatever you're like hoping and praying for that you think is a dream but it's not, like, no, that's meant for you. And you can attract that if you show the universe what's not meant for you. Like, you have to make a change. If you keep making the same choice, nothing will change. What was that quote? It's like, insanity is thinking something will change when you keep doing the same thing over and over. I don't know, remember, whatever that quote is, whatever it is. But, and if you're like, well, how do I make a change? Like, just pivot. Like, what is your yes? Just pivot in one direction. That's different, right? It might seem scary, right? Watch group one. Like, you have to be able to trust in the unknown. It might seem a little scary, but you can pivot in your yes. You don't have to like control what that looks like. Just take one little step in your yes. Like, maybe you are in a long-term partnership or what have you, and you're afraid. You're like, well, I'm too old. I will never meet anyone. I will be alone forever. Those are fears, right? And that's preventing you from attracting in what you deserve, right? Like, would you rather stay in this fear and these icky feelings than just pivot in the yes, right? Like, you've your life right now, the situation, it is what it is because you've been not listening to yourself, right? You've been saying no to yourself. So what kind of life do you think you could have if you just started saying yes to yourself, right? So that you can attract in those different connections, relationships, situations, just energies in general that support and uplift you. But you have to be the one to take the step, right? You have to show the universe what you want. Let's look at persona and seeker. How you choose to present yourself in different scenarios, personality traits that you project or emphasize the roles you adapt. And seeker. Use this card to represent you, who you are, what you may be thinking, feeling, and how you are positioned in a situation or relationship right now. So this just goes to, again, like, yes, connecting with and envisioning the life that you want for yourself, connecting with those energies, but also taking a good hard look at yourself. Like, who are you? What do you value? How do you want to feel in your relationships, which I said, but like, I think I told this to group one, but just sit down and say what type of energies you want to allow in your life and your connections. Like, get real on the different dynamics or how you want to feel. Like, I want to feel loved, I want to feel seen, I want to feel heard, I want to feel happy, I want to feel supported, I want to feel celebrated. In my connection, I want an equal partnership. In my connection, I want, this and that. But getting really real and honest on what you want and seeing, like, how are you embodying that person? Like, I talked about this, like, I talked about the roles. Like, what role do you see yourself as? Like, who do you see yourself as? Do you think you're a guardian, a parent, a mother, a father? Do you see yourself as the glue that brings everyone together? Do you see yourself as the foundation, the rock? Like, what are the roles that you've assigned to yourself? And take a look at that and why that is. Do you not think you can break out of those roles? Are you not allowed to be something different? Like, who do you want to be? Even if those are your roles right now and you're like, yes, these are my roles, who do you want to be? When you imagine your life for yourself, what type of roles? Who do you want to be? And embody that person, right? It's like, just getting honest with your role also in the situation. We can so easily also, you know, put it on something else, like, oh, I'm unlucky, right, in the situation, or oh, it's because of the other person, or oh, it's because of this, right? But empower yourself and say, I can make a change, right? The life that I have for myself is because of the choices that I make. I empower myself to co-create with the universe. I empower myself to realize, like, I have all the tools and resources I need to make a difference. If you want a more equal, open, loving partnership where you feel seen, heard, loved, and respected, how are you showing up in that relationship to make that happen? Are you expressing your feelings and thoughts? Are you being vulnerable? Are you saying, like, hey, that hurt me. Can we do something different? Can you show up a little bit differently? Can you lower your tone? Like, how are you showing up to make it so that the relationship is that way? And if you are showing up appropriately, right? If you are showing up like that and it's still not being met by the other person, then like, you can't change the other person, right? But you can change yourself in your situation. So what are you going to do about it? All right, let's get some closing messages from your higher self, from the Herbiary Oracle that I've been using. We'll read from the guidebook for this one. Oh my gosh. We're just going to take this one because that was too much. Okay. Heart's Home, Hawthorne, page 64. I like this because the sun's up here, the water's here, and then you have, I don't know, just some open land and then mountains. But it's like everything's connected. Oops. It's like everything's connected, right? You have the water, which should be nourished. You have the sun. You need like all of the elements. Let's see what this is. Okay. Hawthorne remembers a time when local gods watched over knolls and wells, frolicking and making mischief in her branches. She remembers her limbs hung with strands of beads glittering in the sun and scraps of fabric fluttering in the wind like prayer flags, offering to the land itself and to the gods who kept alive the vital conduit between spirit and matter. Those days are mostly past, but Hawthorne holds the portals open, knowing these interconnections provide true nourishment to keep the heart whole. If Hawthorne appears for you, strengthen your heart and guard it from homesickness by tending the connections between the spirit realms and material realms. Ritual, anchoring the land. Many landscapes around the globe lost their genius loci, spirit of place, when natural landmarks were removed to make way for roads, buildings, and other human endeavors. You can reanimate the genius loci in the landscape you call home with a simple visualization. Do it as often as you feel called. Begin by either walking or imagining the boundaries of your space, whether you define it as your land, your neighborhood, your house, or the contours of your fifth floor apartment. When you have a clear idea of the breadth of space you're anchoring, identify the umbilicus, the physical and energetic center of that space. From this spot, imagine a golden cord dropping to the earth, sinking until its roots itself in the molten core at the earth's center. Feel the vibrancy, the aliveness of this connection. Now send a silver cord from the same central point up to the heavens, allowing the energies of moonlight and starshine to infuse your space with light and peace. Your space is now anchored to earth and sky, a part of the larger whole. And then reflection, connection to home. In times past, you wouldn't have wandered terribly far from the place where you were born and raised. The world is different now, and you have the glorious opportunity to call many places home, and yet your heart sometimes longs for a landscape vastly different from the one in which you find yourself. If the answer to the following questions is no, use the ritual on the facing page to connect. Are you connected to the place where you live? Can your heart call it home? Can you feel the gentle pulses of the earth? I think this is a great also message of, yes, we're talking about connection, right? You want to connect with the energies around you and ground yourself, right? If you're feeling untethered, ungrounded, unstable, anxious in your home, right? In your this situation, which is probably home for you. I don't know what you do in your practice, but just connecting, doing that grounding ritual. You can do this every morning, but just imagining, roots from Earth's core, going up and connecting with your root chakra or your body, and just imagining like a golden light, source energy coming from the sky so that you're connected. You could just do like one beam of light connected from, as above, so below. But also it's this message of, the question at the end is, do you long for a different place, a different space than what you're calling home right now? Like, does it feel like home to you? Are you staying in a situation? Are you staying in a place that you've known just because of namesake, just because it's been a long time? Are you feeling stagnant there? You can move that energy around. Do you want to go explore? Depending on your situation, right? If you have dependents, that's a little bit different, but can you move? Can you leave? Can you find a new home? Or is your home fine? You just need to ground yourself, right? How can you make this feel more like home, right? How can you let go of the energies that don't make it feel like home and accept energies that do make it feel like home, right? Trusting your heart, right? You want to feel like this is a space that is supporting you, right? You want it like a breath of fresh air when you come home, right? It's your home. It's where you belong. And if you don't feel like you belong in your own home, what are you going to do about it? Right? All right. Well, group 2, those are all the messages that I have for you. Thank you so much for connecting with me. I'd love to continue connecting with your energy for the collective readings. So please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can see all my upcoming videos, and let me know what resonated for you so I know how it worked out in your life. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I'm sending you warm wishes and soothing hugs.